Did anybody hear my homily a few weeks ago about Our Lady, the Untier of Knots? Did anybody catch that?
I did.
I was reading in the magazine a story about Pope Francis when he was a much younger man. Not long after he was ordained, actually, the Jesuits sent him away to Germany to do some studies. And he made his way to Augsburg, and he found a little chapel where there was a beautiful picture of the Blessed Mother. And Pope Francis himself has a very deep personal devotion to the Blessed Mother. And so he was studying this picture, and he noticed how unusual it was. And there was really, the most unusual feature about it is that the Blessed Mother, in the image, surrounded by the angels, with the moon and the stars and the Holy Spirit above her, was holding a rope in her hand, a long cord. And the cord was tied into knots on one side of it. On the other, there were no knots. It was just hanging loose and free. And so he discovered that this image of the Blessed Mother is Our Lady, the Untier of Knots. And so someone told him about this devotion, which goes back centuries in Augsburg. And the people pray to our Blessed Mother and ask her to untie the knots of our life. And they could be the knots of a health struggle of some kind, or maybe an issue in the family, or marriage. Actually, the history of the devotion itself goes back to a problem that a couple in the town was having in their marriage. And they didn't know what else to do, so they came to the parish priest. They brought their wedding ribbon with them. It's a custom in Germany, or it was in the late Middle Ages and the early part of the Baroque period, that when couples got married in Germany, that they would have a cord tied around their wrists, and it would be tied into a knot to symbolize the union that belongs to the two of them. And so they prayed to the Blessed Mother. The priest told them, go home, pray to Mary, ask her to help you in your situation. And when they woke up in the morning, they noticed that the knot was, there was a real tight knot, and it was undone. But that was a symbol to them that their problem would be solved. The ribbon had that knot in it, and it opened up. And so the image was created of the Blessed Mother at the Untier of Knots. And Pope Francis brought that devotion back with him to Argentina, and has ever since then been devoted to Mary, the undoer of knots. Our Lady hears and answers our prayers. As sure as I'm standing right here, and John, you know it too, as sure as I'm standing right here, the Blessed Mother will help you, will, not might, will help you. She will untie those knots for you. And not only will she answer your prayers, but she will answer them with abundance, far more than you can ask or expect. Trust me on that one. Trust John on that one, just as surely as I'm standing right here.